Good evening everyone, and welcome to tonight's preview of the CRH380D high-speed electric train. So high-speed Chinese rail services were first introduced in 2007 and operated with the existing rolling stock on existing lines, which have been upgraded to speeds of up to 250 kilometers an hour on your dedicated high-speed track, rated up to 350 kilometers per hour. In September 2009, Bombardier announced an order for 80 Zafiro 380 high-speed trains from the Chinese Ministry of Railways to be produced at Bombardier's joint venture, Sifang. The CRH380D is the latest generation of Chinese high-speed train capable of running at up to 380 kilometers per hour. It's one of the fastest production trains in the world and one of the fastest trains you can get in Train Simulator today. So today we're going to have a look at the CRH380D, which is developed by our partners Just Trains on the Chengdu-Shanghai route, and I'll be joined by Steve, who will be doing all of the driving for obvious reasons. And so let's switch over to the game now, Steve. Hi everybody.
Hi.
I'm Steve. This is I'm not Steve. I'm Matt. This is Steve. So we're just getting started now with the, perhaps we're going to have a fly around the train while we're waiting for passengers to load.
Let's do that.
So there's some really interesting features on this one.
Let's get rid of the hood for now.
So we're also watching on the chat, so if you've got any questions, then please do give us a shout. Right, so we've just adjusted the volume on the game. Do apologise. If there's any problems, do shout, and we'll try and correct it again. So here we are in the cab. So as you can see, it's a very modern cab. It's all the modern features. So let's get this train going, and then we'll start having a look at some of the features. The 380D has been a train we've certainly seen a lot of requests for following the launch of the Chengdu-Shanghai route, which comes with the 1A, if I remember rightly. I think you can see coming in on the right hand side there, which is somewhat slower compared to this stallion. So this will be coming out on Steam. So Kirkenstein's, Janello asked, is this DLC coming out on Steam? It definitely is. This is a preview of it, and it's coming to the end of its cycle, going through test. As soon as it's finished, we'll be getting that out to you. So what you can see on these displays is the equivalent of the cab signalling. So if you're familiar with LZB on the German trains, or the TVM 430 on the Class 395 Javelin trains on London to Faversham, then you're going to be reasonably familiar with sort of what's going on here. So in the middle screen there, we've got the blue bars giving you your brake indications, the speed dial is your current speed, and then the yellow bar around the outside tells you the current speed limit, and that will adjust according to the speed and drive. So you can see we've just been given a promotion up to 160 kilometers per hour. So Steve is using the cruise control to get us up to 360. On the left-hand screen, you can see the indications of next signals. It's not so much next signals actually, it's more implied signals because there are no real signals on the route. So you get an indication of how the network wants you to slow down in order to maintain distance between the train that you're doing and the train in front of you, so that you've got a safe distance. So you comply with the various speed instructions that it's giving you, and it tells you how far until the next speed change, so that you can always predict what's going on. So it takes a little bit of practice to get used to. If you're familiar with the 1A, this is very much along the same sorts of lines, and like I said, if you're already familiar with LZB TVM 430, then this isn't going to be a particular surprise for you. So we're limited to, even though the speed limit is 320, we're actually on 160 km/h in signalling in post limits at the moment, which you can see from the flashing yellow indication with the 160 next to it. Codblock now asks, why do products that already exist and are released on TS 2015 have to be thoroughly tested before they're released on Steam? Because of the whole wrapping process of putting them on Steam, we want to make sure that nothing's been damaged in any way, and that it all still works really well. It's just really to ensure it's all good. If you take an archive, a product, and you move it into a different distribution medium, you always need to just check everything. So as I said, the sort of maximum speed this train can go is 380 km/h. In practice on the route, the maximum speed on the route is 350 km/h. Dave asks, who's driving? So just once again, I'm Matt, I'm not driving. And this is Steve, he is driving.
Supposed to hell say hello then.
Steve's concentrating on the driving. I just want to thank everyone for the support you're giving me on the chat. It's really good. Speed limit's up to 230 now. Then you'll have to get a green soon to get some serious speed going. So who's got the Chengdu Soning route and looking forward to this high speed add-on? As I said, it is pretty much the fastest add-on now available for Train Simulator. Yanello asks, does the train come with any scenarios, or is it quick drive only? It comes with 4 standard scenarios, so I'll give you a run through of those in just a moment. Actually, if I'm just looking through the manual.
So there's one called Dawn Duty.
Yes, so here we are. Dawn Service, which is driver service from Chengdu to Soning before returning as far as, I'm not even trying to pronounce it, another station. Evening Rescue, a CRH380D stopping service is broken down and you need to tow the failed train to Soning, calling at all stations en route. Morning Service, drive service GO1 from Soning to Chengdu on a bright summer morning, which I believe is what we're doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, so we're doing the morning service scenario. And Night Express, drive service G21 from Chengdu to that station I can't pronounce, before returning with service G22 back to Chengdu. You will call up all stations en route. So yes, there are 4 standard scenarios. It is all quick drive enabled, so you certainly can use it in quick drive.
I've just been cleared up to 300 km/h. And now we are cleared up to line speed.
So the green indicator on the left monitor there tells us that we've now been cleared up to the full 320, and we are accelerating quite nicely. So Dave asked if this is DTG scenario, why have we got Just Trains at the bottom? Well, this is a Just Trains product, and we are publishing it on Steam. So yes, this is Just Trains. Yanadok asks, does the speed cause computer performance issues? Because you're moving so fast down the line, your computer is going to be required to load the scenery off of the hard drive much faster. So if you want to look and see how smooth you're able to load the scenery in. But certainly in our tests, we've not experienced any particular problems. It's actually very good performer. Luke said he would like to see the outside of the train at an appropriate moment.
Yep, I'll show you that soon. I'm coming up to the stop in a minute.
So yeah, so 3.6 kilometres, rapidly going down because we're going so fast, from Daying, which is our next stop. We have no plans for that at the moment, but I can certainly pass on the request, or the suggestion rather, for that Loco train to the development teams. Absolutely. Tungsten ring boilers asked about an outside view. We're going to get an outside view once we get into Daying. One of the things with driving these trains that have got the cab signalling such as this is exterior views. You jump outside and you're not going to get warnings and alarms, and you're going to find the train coming to a stop pretty quickly. Security Gamer asks, can it work on an iMac? Unfortunately, Train Simulator is for Windows, PC, Steam, so don't believe it will work on an iMac. Coming into Daying. Nice smooth high speed. Perhaps during the station we can also have a look at the passenger.
Yeah, certainly will.
So there are actually also two free roam scenarios that I forgot to mention, which allow you to run it on the Chengdu Saining route in different places. One starts in the Chengdu area and one starts in the Saining area.
So there you go, we're inside the passenger view.
Ready and going now. Tungsten ring boilers makes a request about the turbo train and turbo liner. What I'd suggest there to yourself and to anybody else is if you've got trains, routes that you think you would like to see in the game, then go on to enginedriver.com, our website, and write an article, include some photographs, and tell us what's really cool about your idea, and then we can share that with other people, and we can get some feedback on that. JJ's Movie Hole. If a person already has the Just Trains version of this, what are the advantages, if any, of buying it off of Steam? So it's obviously going to be delivered and managed by the Steam system, which means when you reinstall Train Simulator, it'll just get automatically installed along with the Chengdu route, and it'll be fully workshop compatible as well. I'm not aware that there have been any particular changes to the train, so it's pretty much the same product. Yellow 6 would like to hit a horn.
There we go.
That's the horn. It's really something seeing the countryside fly by this fast. About 13.5 kilometres to the next station. Little small. We showed the passenger view a little earlier on. However, next time we stop in the station, we'll bring up the passenger view again for you. Oh, here we are in the passenger view. Steve flying on the wild side.
I always quite like that view because when you're up to speed, it really gives you that sense of speed as you're zipping through the countryside.
So Diner-Raptor asks what speed is 320 kilometres per hour. Well, 380 kilometres per hour. The maximum speed is 236 miles per hour.
So 320 is just over 200 miles an hour. It's about 200.2, I think, or 200.3.
Slowing down now for 160 kilometre speed limit. Little Small asks what scenarios are included. So there are 4 standard scenarios and 2 free roam scenarios, plus the train itself is fully quick drive compatible as well. 45 km/h speed limit. Yeah. So for those that have just joined, today we're taking a look at the CRH380D, just developed by Just Trains. It'll be released on Steam very soon, and if you keep an eye on Facebook and Engine Driver, we'll get certain news out to you about that as soon as possible. So the CRH380D is a high-speed electric train, and it's capable of speeds up to 380 km/h, making it one of the fastest, I think the fastest train in Train Simulator, certainly proper train. It's for the Chengdu Sailing route, which is Chinese, and it's the first DLC that's now available for that route. But the route itself came with a CRH380, which is still a fairly high-speed train, but fairly well a tortoise comparison to this train. So question to everybody out there, what's the fastest train that you've ridden on in real life? How fast have you been on a train? What about you, Steve?
125 for me.
Yeah, probably about the same for me actually.
In the cab.
Probably not the same for me then.
Oh, actually, that tell a lie. No.
On the Pendolino, actually.
Tell a lie. No, it was actually 136, and I was in the cab of APT.
Okay, he's not my friend anymore. So yeah, I mean, it's just standard 125 for me. On 390. A couple of them hours done 300 km/h on the Thalys service from Brussels to Paris. Moleman's been up to 140. Of course, 186, my fastest. Eurostar. During the Channel Tunnel HS1 evacuation trials.
So what speed do the Javelins run at?
140.
Right.
So I've got that as well.
140 then?
Yeah. I apparently have no idea how fast I've travelled on a train. But I think the Eurostar evacuation trials at 186. I think that's definitely my fastest. Kirkenstein, Intercity 225 at 125, David 84, HSD 125, Ride Car 125 and a 390. 125 is seeming like a popular answer. Couple of them out says Eurostar does 300 kilometers an hour. Ninja Joker says he's been up to 431 kilometers per hour on the Shanghai Maglev. So
Oh,
I think
very
he's probably
nice.
got us all beat.
Yeah, very nice. I'm very jealous now.
Yeah, we're all jealous now, Ninja Joker. Andrew DG says his was 240 kilometers per hour at an intercity train, Lisbon to Madrid.
lattice work where they pulled back the terrain. Yeah, really, it's done a really good job with that.
So the Chengdu Soneng route is available now on Steam. It comes with the CRH1A commuter service train, and this CRH380D will be released very soon. Someone's asked for a shift 2 view. There we go. That's a shift 2. That's a head out view. It's not necessarily. I don't know if you can actually stick your head out of one of these trains in real life, but it's an interesting view in the simulator. That's the part of the fun of the simulator, doing things you can't do in real life.
Yeah, I don't think you'd get away with that one, to be honest. Probably the only human walking around with no head.
Proper Mal says R.I.P. head. Right Car says, is the CRH1A a nice pocket rocket? And yeah, it is pretty nippy. It is pretty nippy. Whether you could drive it on the rail drive or not, I actually couldn't tell you at this point. I could certainly try and find out. Corporal was asked if we can see a trackside view with a train blast past at 320 kilometres an hour.
When we get up to 320 kilometres an hour, we will certainly do that.
Dent Gamer says, how long is the route? And I must admit, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's a fair journey, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it takes an hour at normal line speed to get from one end to the other. So it must be easy around about 280 kilometres or so.
Fair distance, that line. But then it allows you to really stretch the legs on your high-speed trains.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Eldiskin says, how long would it take to travel this route on an 08? Probably a while.
Probably a couple of weeks.
That's the subject of an entirely different kind of stream.
I think we should challenge Matt to do that.
Yeah. At least I might be able to speed.
I think even travelling at that speed, I think Matt will find a way to overspeed.
Absolutely. Somewhere. Kirkenstein says, what's the maximum distance you can make a route? The distance you can make the route is really dependent on how complex the track is. There's all sorts of feature factors that can limit it. But you can make, if you just were to make a relatively straightforward route, then you could do it. There's no reason why you couldn't do quite a long route. Comproper Mal says it's 146 kilometres long. He's looked it up on Steam.
Oh, well, there you go.
There we go, 146 kilometres.
Thanks, Comproper Mal.
And there is a 6 kilometre branch line as well.
Gotta love the flange squeal on these. It really sounds awesome.
we are stopped at the next station, just a couple of minutes early. Moorman asks if you can couple 2 units together. You can indeed. The coupling door will open. If you remember rightly, I did say that one of the scenarios actually is a rescue train scenario, where you need to go and couple up to the CRH380D that's broken down.
Quite nice spacious coaches, really.
Explain 15, is this the Chengdu route? It certainly is. This is the Chengdu Saining route from developed by Just Trains, and we're actually running the CRH380D electric train, which we're going to be releasing on Steam very soon.
We're going to be stuck here for a little bit. It's a problem you get when you arrive early.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, Mr. Overspeed.
Jane Rachel says she can't imagine eating her BR pork pie in that cabin.
Pardon?
Jane Rachel says she can't imagine eating her BR pork pie in that cabin.
No, certainly not.
Go down to the end of your train, the other end of your train, Steve.
Yeah.
This is the CRH380D going past at the moment.
We're doing some train spotting. Go for a leisurely stroll down the other side of the platform, do slalom through the ports and round these generally.
So that's something I thought when I first saw this one, I thought was quite different. Is the rear lights flash? Alright, so our speed limit's at 90 at the moment, although we're on a double yellow caution. That's because I think we saw a train leave in front of us earlier on. So the next station is at the other end of the route, 76 kilometres away. So even though the speed limit has increased to 320, the cab signalling was limiting us to 90. So we've just got the approval to go up to 160, so we can keep accelerating. Darren, hi, welcome to the stream. We'll show you the outside in a little while. We're just getting accelerated up to speed, and then we're going to have a flyby as well. Not seen the signalling system before or still not comfortable with it, it is covered in the manual for the CRH380D, so I definitely recommend having a look through the manual. There's a lot of great stuff in there to help you get the best out of this train. Steep gradient at the moment, and it's just ignoring it. It's just scorching its way up the hill. Double green, full permission to go up to the line speed of 300. About to go into the 350. Darren back asks a very good question. Who are we and what do we do? So Steve Dark, who's doing the driving, is the brand manager for TrainSim, and I'm Matt Pedalston. I'm games designer on the next gen TrainSim. So we've been held back to 300 by the signalling system because of the train that's in front of us. Now we're being dropped back to 230. colleague, Dovetail Games, who's on the chat, is definitely a bowl of pudding. For another external camera if there's an opportunity to do. So yes, I must apologise. We're joined by Kevin, who's on the chat window, doing an outstanding job of answering questions. Jamie asks, how is he driving it with the keyboard and the controller? Steve is driving with the keyboard. You can obviously use the HUD, or you can use the controller, they'll all work, but in this case Steve's driving with the keyboard. The way the signalling works certainly keeps you on your toes. It's not sort of a throttle it up to maximum and go to sleep for 80-kilometre journey into Chengdu. It's you've got to keep watching because there's trains in front of you. It is a busy network. You've got to really keep speeding up, slowing down. So it's quite an interesting drive, even though it's a high-speed line, which is commonly a bit less involving. Now, of course, with quick drive, you could set yourself up a scenario with nothing in front of you, and then you could throttle up to the maximum and have a great time. So congratulations, as Kevin's just said on the chat there, congratulations to Tom C. Overshoe, who has been waving the flag for the train sim community over in the dovetail fishing competition. He won second place out of a few thousand entries. So congratulations, Tom. Hope you're enjoying it. If you haven't seen the dovetail fishing product, then go and have a look on Steam. Take a look. It's really good. Right, Cross, what the spec of the machine is we're playing this on. This is quite a high spec machine. This is actually a development machine, so it's running with a GeForce 970. I can't remember which Core i7, but it is a Core i7. Just adjusted the volume again. Let's hopefully you can hear things a little bit better now. We've got the microphone volumes on maximum, but we've just turned the game volume down. Hopefully that's better. Canoe TCN asks if it's SSD or mechanical. It's actually a hybrid. So it's what they call a hybrid drive. So it's a little bit SSD, which then backs up a large mechanical drive. They're an interesting compromise, so you can get massive disks that have got a lot of high performance you get from an SSD, but at a much lower price. It's not as good as a full SSD, but SSDs at these kinds of large sizes still cost an awful lot of money. Cool Dude 5, can the train reach full line speed? In fact, the train can go faster than the full line speed. So the full line speed on this line is 350 kilometers per hour, and this train is capable of 380 kilometers per hour. JJ Smoothie Hole, does anyone know how TS performs on a hybrid versus an SSD? Well, you're looking at it on a hybrid. Ryan Singbai, what route is this? This is the Chengdu Saining route, which you can get from Steam, developed by Just Trains, and we're driving the CRH380D expansion high-speed train locomotive, which will be out soon. How are we doing? 37 kilometres. We're obviously getting a bit closer to that train in front. We've got a single yellow and 160 km/h speed limit. Saying that
spoke too soon. Man.
Spoke too soon. We're on 230 now. Doing very well. Lead miner, is the flashing yellow symbol on the left the line alert? So think about that the same way you would normal signals in the UK or perhaps in the United States. So you've got the green, the yellow, double yellow and the red. So they're giving you an idea of how close you are to the surface in front of you. So if you're getting a double yellow like we are now, then you know you've got a bit of a gap. When it gets to a single yellow, you're going to start getting much slower speed limits to space you out away from the train in front.
Hold it here for a bit, just so we can give the train ahead chance to get away, and then we can get back up to normal
Try and
speed.
make a run for it.
Yeah. See if we can get up to that 350 km/h.
Right, so we've just been cleared for 350. Cruise control is being wound up. You can see the current speed selected on the cruise control on the right hand screen there. It now reads 350. So can we get there before we get slowed down by the train in front? Plans are going to be scuppered.
Oh dear.
Starting to get signal limits imposed now again on 300 on the track, and the line speed is 320. So Dent Gamer has asked, what is the bong noise in the cab? Is that when the speed indication changes?
Yeah.
So when the speed indication changes on the left-hand screen, you'll get an audible alarm, which is your prompt to look at it and find out what you need to do. Dominus Edwardius asks, is this a real line or a semi-fictional one? I believe this is a real line.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the real line between Chengdu and Sailing in China. .8 kilometres, which won't take us long to do now. So we're just approaching Chengdu. It's amazing. After going up the high speeds of the line, coming down to 160 feels like we're just cruising along now. Dominus is the speed auto control. Basically, it's a cruise control based system, so you can manually throttle it, but the way it's intended to be driven is you apply an amount of throttle and then you use the cruise control to speed up and slow down according to the instructions given on the left hand monitor. So you are still driving the train, but the computer is using an automatic like moving block signal based system to allow you to run more high speed trains closer together.
In the real railway, you would never allow a computer system to brake your train for you. You would manually control the deceleration, and you would only allow the system to control your acceleration. So, as you've noticed, I've been manually braking this, and that's how you would do it on the railway.
Coming up to the 45 limit. The scenery is getting noticeably more dense now as we enter a more populated area. Lev Miner says, are we there yet? We're just looking for a place to park, don't worry. Coming in the other direction.
I hope he has better luck getting up to 350 than we did. You know?
There's Chengdu, just appeared on the HUD. There it is, folks. Lots of really, lots of love coming in for the horn.
Oh yeah.
So we're just pulling into Chengdu Station now. So as we pull in, I'll just give a quick recap. So we're looking at the CRH380D, which is the high-speed electric train developed by Just Trains. It'll be released on Steam very shortly. It's a high-speed passenger train capable of speeds at up to 380 kilometers per hour, making it one of the fastest trains on Steam for the game. On the route, it only achieves 350 because of the speed limits on the line, but in other routes and perhaps in your own creations, you can certainly push it up to 380. The route itself is the Chengdu Seoining line, which is already available, and that route comes with the CRH380D, which is more of a commuter train, although it's still pretty fast. So between the two trains, I think you have quite a nice mix of trains to run on this high-speed line. So there we are, expertly driven by Steve, as always. Thank you, Steve. You don't look even a bit smug, do you?
If this was a career scenario, I'd probably just get 1,000 points.
Oh, yeah, probably. Well done, driver. You did a great job. Fantastic. Right, folks, so that has been this advanced preview of the CRH380D. Next Friday, we are going to be doing a preview of... What are we doing a preview of, Steve?
The A2 Peppercorn.
The A2 Peppercorn. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
Steam trains.
Me too.
That's what I'm all about. This stuff is cool. Steam trains are where I'm at. And everyone else can be quiet. That we have nothing about overfilling boilers or letting them go dry.
Yes.
So, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us on the channel this evening. I really appreciate you taking your time to come and have a look and see the CRH380D from Just Trains. Be on Steam very shortly. Keep an eye on Facebook and Engine Driver for news as usual. And I think that's it from us. Until next Friday, we'll take a look at the A2 Peppercorn. So until then, it's good night from me.
It's good night from him.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.